Oh, good God, he's coming right at me with a giant stick. Oh, dear Raffy, you are a lunatic. So now that Raffy and I have got this video is a mess. Hi everyone, and welcome back to The Learning Gardener. I thought I would do a little video about gardening with my lunatic dogs. We've got Raphael, Ladybird, who mostly gets called Birdie, and my best friend's dog Clancy, who makes appearances on the regular. He is Raffy's very best friend, and the two of them are such chaos monsters. They've already broken one of my cameras in the garden. Sometimes we'll see visions of Marley Sue, our beautiful dog who we recently lost. She used to come down to the gardens while my parents were on holidays, and one of her favourite things to do was to find the fertilizers in the garden beds. But gardening with dogs, especially these dogs, is total chaos. Rafa has been a chaos monster from the very beginning. He makes a huge amount of mess shredding toys, but his love of gardening has been clear from the very beginning. The first day I brought him home, he found a watering can and was fascinated with it and spent a week dragging that thing around everywhere, and he was such a tiny little pork chop that he really did have to drag it. Soon after that, he discovered the great joys and the importance of mulching. He would see me struggling to open the bag of mulch, and he decided he would start to help. The thing is, he was in his baby raptor phase of puppydom, and he soon realized that this was a great deal of fun to actually open the sugarcane mulch. And usually all I would have to do is bring out the mulch bag and it would be ripped apart. Then the same started happening with the bags of compost and bags of soil. And obviously I could have put down the camera and stopped filming him and stopped him. But there were times where I would come home and deposit stuff that I'd just bought, and he would rip it open before I'd even realized what was going on, and I'd come out and find him munching a stick, enjoying his pile of mulch. But it was actually kind of useful, to be honest. These bags of mulch are quite difficult to open, and he loved it, and it really tuckered him out. Raffy still loves helping in the garden, although he doesn't open mulch for me anymore, and he doesn't get quite as tuckered out as he used to. He still tries to help me harvest potatoes, although his first season was his most enthusiastic. He still eats baby carrots if given a chance and is into everything. He is my curious George. He wants to be with me at all times. He will sit outside with me in the blazing hot sun and be part of the gardening, or at the very least overlooking what I'm doing all day. Endless harvest baskets have been filled with tennis balls. He has tried to contribute tennis balls when I've been burying potatoes. He wants to be part of the gardening process at all times. As you can see, I also pulled the cauliflowers and the bok choys out, but I'm going to have to take Rafa inside because he's eating them and there are still bees everywhere. Come on, buddy. Come on, inside, let's go. When Rafa was a year old, we got Ladybird, his best bud in the whole world. And Ladybird was about 13 months old when we got her, and it took her quite a while to decompress. Even now, she's still decompressing. She comes from quite a horrible background. We were her sixth home by the time she was 13 months old, and she's never going to have another home. She is my regal lioness. She sits in the garden beds and observes the chaos that Clancy and Rafa get up to, almost with disdain. She loves an empty garden bed, and she just loves to sit on my seedlings once they're planted in. But anytime there's an empty garden bed, she's straight in there. She loves the higher ground. I think even if I had the tall Birdie's raised garden beds, I think she'd potentially be even happier with them. But I'm kind of glad I don't, because as part of her history, she used to fly the coop. So I had to build what I called bird-proof fence at my old house, because they only had short fences. And she was jumping over the fences to try and get out during her initial decompression phase. But now my big bird just wants to stay home. She loves climbing into the garden beds and sitting right where I plan on working. In winter, she'll sit with me out in the sun and just lays about while I do the planting, whereas Rafa's always looking for action. Birdie will not sit out with me in the hot summer sun. She'll watch for a little bit, usually right where I am, and then she'll go elsewhere. She causes no chaos in the garden at all, aside from the fact that she does love a munch on a fruit tree, oddly enough. It's the only thing she chews. She just loves fruit trees. Rafa, as you can see from his cone of shame, is constantly in trouble, constantly off doing some sort of mischief monster activities, and always creating chaos. Bird just loves a fruit tree. What can I say? She's too cute. The only other thing she's particularly enthusiastic about gardening-wise is hunting for critters at night. She loves it. She goes out at night. She's got very, very strong hunting instincts. She's a Catahoula Mastiff, and she goes out looking for bush rats. She had a fight with one evening, and I found it the next morning, and she had a little scratch on her face. She has chased birds that have got stuck in our berry enclosures. She is a prime lizard hunter. This girl is on at all times in the garden if there's something to chase. But if there's nothing to chase, she's a snoozy paloozy. Meanwhile, Raffy wants to be involved as much as he can, as close as he can, and he wants to be in whatever action is happening. His favourite time in the whole world was when the backyard flooded, because it meant there was mud and puddles to play with, and he had his own personal swimming pool to go snorkeling and looking for his ball in. He is just a chaos monster in the garden, but he's my best bud, and he keeps me company while I spend hours sometimes in the hot blazing sun in the garden. I hope you guys have enjoyed getting to know the hounds that regularly shove their way into the footage on this channel, and hopefully we'll see more of them in the future because they do make some pretty cute cameos. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program.